We're live. We're live. Good morning, bowling fans. This is Dan Castle. We are here at Ryan's Family Amusements in Millis, Massachusetts, and we're about to see some Class D South action in the Atlanta Candlepin Singles Tour. Today, all the way from Buzzards Bay, is Al Blanchard, a veteran bowler of many years and also a frequent contributor to this program. Al is here challenging John Ahearn, our local bowler, and also himself a contributor to the Candlepin Bowling Network. So bowlers are about ready to go up and say hello. And yep, I'm ready. We are ready to go, so gentlemen, give each other a greeting. John's up there. Al is going to be there momentarily. We'll get some action going. It's a quiet Saturday morning, but busy here at Ryan's. The Kids League is here. Some open bowlers hopping place. So on a cool, wet January morning, it's a great place to be. So I'm not sure what we're waiting on here, but I'll be with you momentarily and check what we have for viewers. All right, you guys ready to go? We're live. Oh, okay. Yep.
What do you want, Allie?
No, I'm on the ACST page. That's where I started from, and then I will share it to other places.
Oh, you're on the ACST web?
Yep, that's where we start. So, see if we can see it there.
Well, I guess I'm not going to be able to share it. I don't know how.
Well, it'll come up for a recording. All right, we're ready to rock and roll here. Al Blanchard on your right. Visiting bowler faces John Ahearn. Gentlemen, good luck, and let's see some good bowling here. Class D action is those of you who are familiar with Atlanta Candlepin Singles Tour. John Ahearn, as a home bowler, is chosen to go first, which is most home bowlers choose to go second. John will go first, and we are off in the action. He's on the 2-pin and takes out 4 to start. This will be a 5-string match. They're going to bowl 5 boxes at a time. We've taken 2 lanes up here, lane 21 and 22. So we'll be alternating every 5 boxes. John over on the 3-pin. Still has 3 pins standing. So he's open in the first box. And let me get this rolling here. And John, to close it out, try to get a 10 here. And he's got himself a nice 9. Nicely done. So good start for John with a 9 box. And we've already got a good number of viewers starting to join us. I see Gerard and Nick Blundo and Staran Loney. Good morning, everybody. Hope you got some good coffee. John Ahearn with a 9 to start. Both bowlers are coming off a little bit of a tough start to the year. This is a week 9 match. And I know that both of them are averaging under 100 right now. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what it is. We don't have the stats up at the moment. And John he backdoors it, gets a spare in the second. I bet you he planned that out just like that. Nicely done, John. So my sound appears to be working. I'm going to mute my phone here so it doesn't bother everybody. All right, and John puts 4 on the fill. Avoids the half Worcester. He went on a 2, punched up the 2, 9, 10, and something else. So 4 in the fill. He's at 23 through 2. Going for the spare attempt here. This is a tough one. And he's on the object pin and just misses. The 4 and the 7 stay up. So good effort there by John. And now to close out the box. And he catches the object. It's a 9. And John Ahearn at 32 through 3 boxes. And there we are. John Ahearn in box 4. On the 2 pin leaves the 1, 3, 6, and 9. A little bit of a check mark or a lambda at the back there. Makeable spare if he puts it in the right pocket. So a little bit overreach, so just plucks out 2. Another open box for John. I'm going to put this up on my own Facebook page, as I usually do, for friends around the country who like to join the match. John with 2 pins left, just the head pin and the 6, and he takes out the 6 for another 9 bucks. And John is at 41 through 4, looking to close out his first half of game 1. John has a very colorful shirt. If you watch these shows, you'll see a lot of the bowlers have the standard ACST shirts of varying colors, and some bowlers this year and years past have chosen to make it a little more colorful. John's is bright pink on the insignia, and look at that. Nice head pin hit, drops 9, leaves a 6 pin with a snowplow in front of it. Good opportunity here for John. Gonna get, oh, he let that one get away, and that will be a 9 box. He's not thrilled about that, I'm sure. And John Ahearn sits down with a 50 in the first half of game 1. So those of you who are not familiar or need a refresher, in the ACST we bowl 5 games, 5 boxes at a time. The winner of each game wins 2 points toward their standings for the final playoffs at the end of the year. That's 10 points possible through just winning games. And the winner of the total pinfall for 5 games gets another 4 points. So 14 points awarded for the all-important playoff standings. So no prizes for winning the games today, but it really counts down the road when we get to the end of the season and we're setting up the playoff ladder. Al Blanchard, again veteran bowler from Buzzards Bay down on the edge of the Cape. Starts off with a 7 drop, leaves the 1, 2, 4. He's got a big hook on his ball and just misses a head pin, not by much at all. He really has a real right to left break on this. It's pretty impressive, actually. And we're coming into box 3, try to clean these up. And Al closes with a 9, just like John did. All right, I'm going to start tracking head pins. I missed them the first few boxes. Usually I keep on top of that. Al Blanchard, box 2. Over on the 3 pin, and he leaves up one of the common leaves in this game. We call it the 4 Horsemen. 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. The 1, 2, 4, 7. So 4 Horsemen left. He's got wood behind the 1, 2, and wood in front of the 7. Even though it's behind, sometimes that wood can guide the ball down the line. So Al lets that one go a little too far. Doesn't lose any pins, as we saw with John. If you put it in the gutter or the channel, that ball doesn't count. So we have to take away any pins felled. So Al trying to clean these up. And he gets 2 of them for an 8 box, and Al is at 17 through 2. So he's down 6 pins right now. John was at 23 through 2. Hopefully you can see the scoreboard up there. But if you don't, I'm going to give you the score every single box that we have up here. Al Blanchard, box 3, in the pocket. Nice ball. He was joking during warm-ups that he put a bunch of spares up there. So great ball, but he is left with a 4-10 split. It's pretty tough to make something like that. So we've got viewers on here, which is great for a Saturday morning in the D division. And I'd love to hear your comments. Join the party. Let's have some coffee together. Al Blanchard trying to make the split by cutting that 4 over. Almost does it. That was a great bid. Real precision shot. He sent that 4-pin right over to the 10, but it went behind it. I don't think he can do much better than that. Look at that shot. Al in his day was a top bowler. And you can see on his shirt, he has a team put together called Team Wow. It's a 9-box, 26 through 3. Team Wow does some bowling for the Candlepins for Cancer charity. They make donations and help support Candlepin bowling families who are affected by any form of cancer. And I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I know a lot of money has gone to help families around New England who have been impacted with that in the Candlepin community. Al on a 3-pin leaves a 4 horseman plus the 9 and a 10. I hear myself over there. All right, Al on the 4-pin still has a 1, 2, 9, 10 up. And hopefully I'm not putting you guys back to sleep. It's time to get up. Let's get excited and let me know how you're doing out there. All right, Al trying to pick this up and gets the 2 and the 9, so an 8-box. 34 through 4 in game 1 for Al. He's down 7 pins right at the moment. These matches are scratch. There's no handicaps involved. So Al would need a spare right now to catch up with John. But it's early. Long ways to go. And we're coming into box 5 to finish out the first half of game 1. And Al with that big break just out of the pocket on the 3-pin. Leaves the 4 horsemen left again. 1, 2, 4, 7. And for the spare, Al is coming up. He's breaking it over a little too much again. Takes out the 4-7. So he's open for 5. But it's actually pretty close. See what the result of this last ball is. And he's got to pick up the 1, 2. See what he does. And he does. Beautiful job. So Al is showing some nice precision here with some of these shots. He's a 44 at the half. I know he mentioned to me that he's with a tough start to the season. His average has dropped below a 90 right now. But I think he's going to come back for us. And it's 50-44 halfway through the first game of 5 with John Ahearn in the driver's seat at the moment. 1 spare, and Al didn't have any. So John switches over to lane 22. Starting out the second half of game 1, here we go. That first ball, he buries it on the pocket nicely. But he's up for the 3-1 split. That's the 2-4-7-10 split. Wood in front of the 10. If he can split that 2-pin over there, he might have a shot at this one. That's where he's going. He's going for the wood, actually. The wood nudges the 10-pin over slowly. So still 3 pins up. John's open in box 6. And for the 10, here he comes. Trying to get that line of 3 to go. And a nice shot by John for a 10-box. 60 through 6. So nice cleanup. That third ball is so important. Need to get those 9s and 10s make or break a game, even if you can't get the spare that time. John in box 7. This time he gets away from him a little bit. He goes over to the 3-pin. He leaves the 4 horsemen up plus the 5-8. So 6 pins up, 4 pins down. This is makeable, and that wood I think could really help him. He's got wood between the 2 and the 4. If you can put that in the 1-2 area, John being left-handed, that should be his natural pocket, and he lets it get away. So off in the ocean that time. Not too far, though. And still has 6 pins to clean up for its possible 10. And John will have to take a 4-box on that one for 64 through 7. He's not happy with that. Sometimes those really easy-looking clusters of pins can throw you off, and you end up trying to finesse it a little too much and end up missing everything. So John in box 7 really wanting to get some marks here to insulate himself from Al's second half. That's a better ball in the 1-2 pocket. And drops 8, leaves the 3 and the 6. Got to hit the 3. Either side of it should take that. But you never know. Sometimes 2 pins together, it's not automatic. And John goes a little too far to the right, takes out the wood in the back. Another open box. And that's a 9 box for John. So 73 in the 8th box. John's quite a stealth bowler, actually. I bowled him quite a few times in my recent career in ACST, and I thought I had him a few times, but I have yet to defeat him. And I come in overconfident, and watch out, he throws some big games against me. So John off on the 3-pin leaves the 1, 7, 8, 9. Wood behind the head pin. Could be interesting. Can he get that wood to carry all 3 in the back? All right, more comments, guys. Let me know you're here. Communicate. Got to hit that head pin, and he misses off to the right of the 9, so it's still up there for a possible 10.
All right, big out.
So Al's encouraging John to get a big out. Try to get these out of here. And that's a better ball. That's where he wanted it, and probably wouldn't have worked anyway. So an 8 box, 82 through 9 for John. Going to need a mark to get to 100. Actually, it was 8. I'm sorry, 81. 81 through 9. So needs a big spare if he wants to get to 100 on this one. But he's in the realm of his current average. Just off to the 3-pin, and that's the Colery for Bob Colery, a well-known bowler from years back. The 1, 2, 4, 7, and the 9. So the 4 horsemen plus a single pin in the back. That single pin adds a little complication to the equation. John picks off the 4, 7. He will be open in the 10th and under 100. He gives Al an opportunity here. Al at 44. Will not need a mark to catch John. So that's an 8 box for John. 89. So John Ahearn hosts an 89 in game 1. He's not thrilled about that, but long ways to go. And Al is coming up to finish game 1. He's at 44, and he needs 46 pins to win game 1 and take the first 2 points. Now, that means he doesn't need a spare, but he needs good pinning all the way through. Can't afford a bad box, or that will force him to spare. So Al checking his slide now. Always a good idea. Bowlers ask me when I was bowling, you know, are you OCD? You always check your slide when you come up. And it's important because you never know how lane conditions are. When some of us who are a little aggressive on the slide really don't want to face plant on the lanes. Al with a beautiful ball there. Puts it in a 1-3 pocket. Leaves a 7-10 split. Little wood. And we'll see if he can get this to go. So the wood in front of the 10 is out a little ways. You could go there. The wood against the 7 is angled toward the pit. So I don't know. Dave Ikonen, good morning to you. And Al puts it in the channel, and that will not lose him the 10 pin, surprisingly. So Al still has 2 pins up. At the moment, he needs a spare to catch John in boxes completed, but John put up that 4 box, and that's going to help Al's cause. Al with a nice 9 bucks on a 7-10 split. 53 through 6, and he's down 7 pins in completed boxes. Now, this next box is big because if Al can put a mark up here, he can go ahead. Hi, Will from Texas. Glad to see you coming up, and that is a lemon drop. Speaking of Candlepins for Cancer. Some of the bowlers participate in a donation strategy where if they get a candle pin or a single pin down like that, what we call a lemon drop, they make a donation. Al, nice corrective ball, puts in the 1-3 pocket, gets a bunch to fall, but leaves up to 7-8-10. So he will be open, but he's making it ever closer to John, who's at 64. If he can get a 10, he'll be just one pin off. And then we have a nail biter here. And Al with an 8 box, so 8 boxes into this string. Al Blanchard's at 61. And 8 boxes in. John Ahearn's at 64, so 3 pins. If Al can 9 or 10 out, he's got a shot at this one. Can't afford a not 7 box. Okay, off to the left on the 2 pin. And Al leaves up a middle cluster of 5 pins, a 1, 3, 5, 8, 9. And that's actually a trickier shot than it looks, because if you put it in the pocket, which is really you really want to do, sometimes those 2 pins just wrap around the back pins. That's where he's going. Nice shot, and Al Blanchard picks up the spare in a ball that a lead that wasn't as easy as it looks, and that's huge. Al is joking up there that even a blind squirrel gets a nut sometimes. Watch out, Al can come back at you. He's done it to me before too. Al on a fill, big fill here for him, and he's in the on the head pin again, and puts 5 and a 6 in the fill. He's taking the lead at 77 through 8 over John Ahearn's 73 in the 8th box. So good comeback so far for Al. He's got the 3-1 split, 4, 7, 8, 10. He's going to the left side as he should. Catches just a 7. He's trying to get that wood to carry something over. And he's in good position now on this one. Al Blanchard coming from behind here. Let's see if he can carry it through. And he'll have to settle for a 7 box that time. And he's at 84 in the 9th box. John Ahearn was at 81 in the 9th box. Ahearn closed with an 89, so Al needs to get 6 pins in this box to take this string. Anything less than a 6 box, and John Ahearn will win. Nothing guaranteed in this game. Al's first ball gets 4 out of the 6. He's on a 2 pin. He leaves a 1, 3, 6, 5, 8, and 9. So another big cluster in the middle. Pretty much the same as before with 1 extra pin. He got the spare before by putting in a 1, 3. Now he's got to carry the 6 pin too if he wants to do that. And he's off to the left. So right now Al needs 3 more pins to take this string. 2 to tie, 3 to win. And he's leaving it to the last ball. So 3 pins have to go here if Al wants the points here. Otherwise, that'll go to John. Better ball for Al. And Al gets 3 pins. 4 pins for 92. And Al Blanchard wins game 1, 92 to 89. With a come from behind win that went down to the last ball with a must make 7 or better. He got an 8, or actually needed a 5 or better to tie, 6 to win. He got the 8. And Al Blanchard, 2 points, and it's 92 to 89 in total score right now. So in the lower divisions, we get exciting games, even if they're not as high scoring as we see in the A division. John Ahearn starts out game 2, and he's got a lemon drop, just plucking out the 4 pin. And Al shouts out it's $1 each. Everybody's looking around. Is Paul Grant here to collect? All right, Al, or John, I'm sorry, misses everything, puts it through the bunny hole.
All right, got it there, buddy. Still all in. Pick out.
And love seeing people from other places here. That's why I put it up on my personal page. So I have friends all over the place. Been very fortunate in that. Ahearn cleans that up with a 7 box to start game 2. we are coming into box 2 of game 2. John Ahearn, still off to the left a little bit. He couldn't get that ball to break like he wanted. He's a lefty with a mild left to right break. It's not extreme. And that ball just went a little flat on him as he's trying to hook it into the 1-2 pocket and leaves the 1-3-6 and the 8 pin in the back. That's a better ball. He catches the object, but a little full. Nick Brienzi, nice to see you as always. A lot of bowling friends watching this. I appreciate the support. And Ahearn trying to clean up this, and he'll have to settle for another 7 bucks. 14 through 2 for John Ahearn. And I'm going to see if I can find some stats here while we're doing this. A little slow on that. John Ahearn coming into box 3 and just out of the pocket. It's getting a lot closer, but still on the 2 pin. And John leaves up the 1-3-7-10. So interesting split. It is makeable. Put that in a 1-3 pocket, and that's where he's going. Catches the 1, the 3, and the 10. He was trying to bounce the ball off the head pin. Didn't quite get it to go, but he put up a good effort on that one and can't complain. And John going for a 10. Right at the pin, that's what you're supposed to do. If you see it, aim for it. And John gets the 10 box. Didn't try to play any fancy tricks of the wood. And he's got 24 through 3. So still looking for his first mark in this string. Timmy Douglas, good to see you. Like to cover you sometime soon if I can. Box 4, game 2, John Ahearn coming up. Again on the 2 pin. Same leave as before with the 9 pin, so 1, 2, 8, 9, 10. Some wood down there in the middle of everything. So John for his spare attempt. He'd really like to see this one go. It is makeable. Too far to the right, and now he's got what we call the high-low jack, the 1-7-10. Some of the old bowling shows used to give out nice bonuses for making this leave. And John with another 7. So he's had 3 7s so far, and he's at 31 through 4.
All right, leave one hanging.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking for some stats here. John Ahearn coming into box 4. That time he adjusted to the right. A little too far, but it catches a 3 pin. Takes out the right half, a little bit less than half of the... All right, and here we go. I'm pulling up standings here so I can see what we're talking about. John goes down to plucks out a couple here. All right, we're in the D South division here. Now let's see where our bowlers stand. John, nice attempt for the 10, picks up 2, so at 8 box, and John puts up a 39.5, so got some work to do for sure. And let me catch John. John wishes Al Happy New Year. He feels like he gave him a gift, but we got a long ways to go. All right, Gerard, thank you. I just pulled that up too. And John is currently in a winning situation. He's at 66 and 60 in total points with an average of 93.69 after having completed 9 of 9 matches. So he's at the midpoint. Al, John is in 3rd place in D South Division 4, behind Nick Blundo and Charles Santaboni, if I said that right, and ahead of Kevin Wallace. Al Blanchard is in Division 2 South, and he's at 48 and 64, averaging 90.1. So roughly even match. So John's got the edge in average. Al starts out on the 3 pins and leaves the 1, 2, 4. And Al going for the spare, just misses a head pin, not by much. We've seen Al make some precision shots here, and he was trying to kick that head pin over to the other 2. And John, we had an 8 pin back there I didn't see. So John starts out with an 8 box. Or Al, I'm sorry, I'm getting everybody mixed up here. That's what happens when I have multiple screens I'm looking at. And so we're coming into box 2 of game 2 for Al Blanchard. John put up a 39. That opens the door for Al to come back here. Al lets that one go. He went from about the 3 pin range all the way over to the left gutter. That was a big hook. That's what can happen with some of the bowlers with a little slower ball, but he threw that at 18 miles an hour. But it also can be effective, and that was a nice correction. Put it in the 1, 2 pocket, and look at that. It takes down 8, just leaves up the 3 and the 10. So would have been nice to get 10 down for a spare, but that's still a good outcome. And very possible here to make the 310. He's got wood in the middle. He can catch that 3 pin. He's got a shot at it, and he goes just left. So that's an 8 box for Al. He's ahead right now, 16-14 through 2 completed boxes. John, as you recall, did not put up any marks in his first half, so that could give Al an advantage. In total right now, he's in the completed games, he won the first one by 3 pins, so anybody's match right now still. Only 2 in the second game here. A lot of bowlers here. I love watching the Kids League. I used to come here every weekend. I just did the same thing. Put it off on the channel on the left. Mike Nardone is over here classing him on. John, good comment. A pillow fight. I like to call it a pitcher's duel. Mike Nardone is working here, and we've had him on the mic a lot of times. He's a lot of fun to bowl with, a lot of fun to hang out with. Al corrects, puts it on the 2 pin, takes out 3 pins. 4 pins, it says. I thought I see the 5 is gone. Okay, I thought I saw the 5 pin still. And Al is having a little trouble going far to the left and still has 5 pins up. That's a 5 box. And so Al is falling behind John right now through 3 boxes. John's ahead 24-21. Al can still stay ahead, get ahead of John by pinning, but that's the adjustment he wanted. He just misses a head pin. Ball crossed right in front of it, but that's a much better 7 drop, leaving a 1-3-9. And Al's got a spare leave here. Put that on a 1-3. Should go. He's just off. Again, too much hook. A little too much break on that ball. So no mark in the 4th for Al. That's one of those where you can see it going, and it doesn't go for you. And Al still has a 1-9 up. Wood in front of the 9. Might be helpful. He gets the 9 for a 9 box. 1 pin game now. Al Blanchard at 30. John Ahearn at 31. So if Al can get a 10 box, he'll take the lead at the half, even with a modest score of 40 if he can get there. So big box for him. At least keep it close to come into the second half. That's a good ball. And Al, again, crosses. That big hook makes a difference. Put it on the 2 and leaves up the 1, 3, 6, 7, and 9. So he's got a little cluster over on the right and has to carry something to the 7 pin. I think the 1-3 pocket's where he wants it, and again he hooked a little too far. Getting some backdoor action. Look at this. 9 pin wiggling but not going down. So Al got a nice break there. And right now they're tied at the half. If Al can pick up this pin, he'll go ahead. And again, the break works against him. So a 9 box, 39-39. at the halfway point of game 2. And bowlers say that they're throwing pillows at each other right now, and that's a good description. So, raw scores don't mean a whole lot of times. It's how you're bowling against your opponent. So, you know, it's tough when both bowlers are struggling a little bit, but you still got to stay with it and try to get that pin or two advantage. John Ahearn starting box 5, box 6, second half, box 6, game 2, and John drops 7, late falling 2-pin, and he's got the 1-7-10 high-low jack. Wood over to the left of the head pin, and may be helpful if you can catch the left side of that head pin. He's got a shot at this one. He's going to the right side. He gets the 110. The 7 stays up. Al says, I thought you had that one. Didn't go. So John still has the 7 pin standing. He'll still stay open through 6 boxes. Both bowlers open all the way so far. And John with a 9 box. 48 at the 6th. So I've seen both of these guys put up some big games too. So that's how it goes. Sometimes we get low scoring games, sometimes we get big ones. We can string a few marks together. Ahearn coming up in box 7 over on lane 22, and that one goes too far to the right. And he did the opposite of what Al's been doing, put a little too much hook on it. John's throwing at 26 miles an hour at the pins, which is a healthy speed. You get a lot of action on that. It's not a fireball, but it's definitely respectable. And too far to the right again, puck's off 2. He's got the double line, 1, 2, 4, 7, 3, 5, 9, or 3, 5, 8 in the back. Just took off the right-handed triangle in the first 2 balls. This is the 3rd ball. Really big one here to clean this up. And we saw him do this again. That's very painful to him and costly. Gets a 3 box for a 51 through 7. Those kinds of boxes give your opponent a real opening here, even if he's bowling a low score himself. The only way to make up for that is to catch a spare. That's what John's looking to do in the last 3 boxes. Get at least 1 mark here. That's a much better ball. John puts it in the pocket. Nice shot. Just misses a strike. Al says that's the John Ahearn we know. He drops 9, leaves a 7 box. He can see the pin. He should go for it. The wood is tempting. He's going for the wood and gets in between. A little indecisive on that in some ways. He didn't hit the wood, didn't hit the pin, went right in the middle of them. So looking for a 10 box here. And John again, same thing. So 9, he's a 60 through 8. And but the first ball was very promising here. If he can do that in the next 2, he's got a good shot to pick up a mark or 2 here. He's just got to keep throwing that same ball. Left-handed bowler again. He's in the pocket again on the right side. Doesn't give him what he wants. He's got a diamond plus a 10 for a split. 2, 4, 5, 8, and 10 pins up. And then John catches just the 4, but it kicks over to the 10. So he's got an open box in box 9. And that'll leave him with 1 box, and he's going to need a big mark to get to 90. Trying to clean up the triangle, and that's a 7. John so far well below his average. And he's a 67 through 10. Tough game. We all have them. Happens to everybody. Again, John runs an average of 93.69 right now. And I know that's below where he usually stands. Box 10, looking to make something happen here. John puts it on the 2 pin, leaves a spare leave. 9 pin follows late. He's got the 4 horsemen right. 1, 3, 6, 10. So, big spare attempt for John, trying to put in a 1-3. puts it on the 3 and leaves the 110, and he's open for 10. So trying to close this out. He's over 70, but not where he wants to be on this game, and that's an 8 box. John sits down with a 75 string. So that 3 box was a killer here for him. Al's at 39 coming up now, and Al needs Al just needs 36 pins and 5 boxes. So he needs some 7s and 8s, and he's in good shape here. Al Blanchard, first ball in his 6th box of game 2, and puts it in the pocket. Leaves a diamond right. And that is a 2-5-6 and a 9 in the back. Not the easiest leave, but it's good when it goes. He's in there, it looks like, and he gets a spare for Al Blanchard in his 6th. Split that diamond up beautifully. He cut it. That was a diamond cutter shot. Really well done. That's not easy. So Al is on the fill, trying to put another one down the middle, and gets away and just cuts off the 7 pin for a 1 fill. And he's at 50 through 6. So not where he wanted to be, but he's got the lead right now. Good opportunity to go well ahead here. He's got 9 pins up, big target. Puts it in the pocket. Just off, missed a 3 pin. Hit the head pin, 2 full. 5 down, he's ahead in this game. He's got the 2-4, the 3 and the 6 and the 10 on the right side. He's going to the right, makes sense, and puts it through the hole for a 5 box. 55, that 3 box hurt John, but it's not as bad as it could have been with that 5 by Al. That 7th box didn't go well for either of these guys. But it's 55 to 51 through 7 boxes. John put up a 75 game, so Al needs 21 in 3 boxes to take game 2. 3 7s will do it, or any other combination. Wants to go higher than that, but again, the ball, he's letting that ball get way off to the left.
Stop watching me out.
And picks off the 7 pin again. So it's not given here for Al. He's having some control problems. His 18-mile-an-hour ball is breaking hard right to left. He adjusts, catches the 2 pin, and puts 5 down total, so 4 down on that ball. So what he wants to do, that ties him right now. The next pin he stays ahead of John. And it's in the channel. He's got a 5 box. And it's 60 to 60 in the 8th box. So another tight one here. Sometimes the low-scoring games are very frustrating, but they're actually kind of fun to watch if you're a connoisseur of the game, because you see how the bowlers deal when they're having challenges. You know, just work for every pin, because every pin matters a lot right now. And Al, trying to keep it out of the channel, runs the rail, catches the 6 pin for the right-handed triangle. He's left with a double line again, the 4 horsemen plus the on the left, plus the 3, 5, 8. That's a makeable spare. A lot of us routinely hit the 6 pin the first time. I'm not going to talk about who. I might be one of them. And Al again is right over in that 6 pin range, so he's corrected for the right to left hook. But now he's got 7 pins down there to clean up. He needs to get all 7 to stay tied. Actually, he needs to get 4. I'm sorry. Let me do my math right. That's the ball he wanted, and Al gets a very respectable 9 box. Retains the lead as 69 to 67 through 2. And we're coming on the last box of game 2. And it's again coming down to that last box where Al needs 6 pins to win, or 7 pins to win, 6 pins to tie. So can't afford a really bad box here, but doesn't have to mark. First ball on the 2 pin, flirts with a half Worcester, but takes out 3. I'm sorry. So Al is at 72 if he doesn't throw any more balls. He's got 3 more pins to tie, 4 to win. Same situation as last game. Corrects to the right, puts it in the pocket, picks off a couple more. And now he's at 6. They are tied. And the next pin that Al takes will win it, but he's got to get that next pin. He has the 3, 6, 7, 10 split. Doesn't have to go for it. Just wants to get over in that 3-pin region and at least pick up a pin so he can get the points. That's what he's doing. And he gets 1 pin exactly for a 7. And talk about a nail biter, 76 to 75. Al Blanchard wins game 2 with a low-scoring game for both of the bowlers. But they both stayed in it as best as they could and fought for every pin, and Al came back to a virtual tie, 76 to 75. And it's 4 points to 0. Al Blanchard in command right now, but the total is very close. 164 for John Ahearn. Kevin McGinnis, good to see you. To 168. So Al Blanchard with a 4-pin advantage in total. That ain't much. 168 to 164, and we're starting the middle game of this 5-game string. John Ahearn just misses a head pin, puts it on the 3, and he's left with a 4 horseman plus a 10. And again, this is the Atlanta Candlepin Singles Tour, Class D South. Ryan's and Millis. This is Dan Castle talking to you, and love to hear your comments or compliments, complaints, whatever you want to say. John to the left leaves the 1, 2, 10. He was markless in the last game. Doesn't want to keep going that way. We've seen some low scores here. Nobody's broken 100 yet. John with the 1, 2, 10 for a 10. And he's going to have to settle for a 7. $7 for John Ahearn to start game 3. John's a home bowler here and is going first. Some home bowlers like to do that. Notably, Justin Waters likes to do that. Ashley Breton likes to do that. I don't. I like to see what I'm up against. When I'm a home bowler, I always want to go second.
There it is.
There we go. John with a pocket shot in the 1-2 pocket, left-hander's pocket. But a good ball as it was, he leaves the 5-10 split, the 5 and dime, or the Woolworth as some call it. Good morning, Kevin. Trying to kick that 5 over. Nice try by John. Just misses. Not by much. Just a very small target there to try to catch the left side of that pin. And now John wants to get out of here with a 9. A 10 would be nice, but at least a 9. So he's going for the 10 pin, and he misses, so he has an 8. 15 through 2. I think a lot of bowlers would have still gone for the 5 pin. Corners are tougher, and there's always a possibility if you catch it of getting the 10. But everybody does what they want to do. So John coming into box 3, 15 through 2 in game 3. And a head pin hit a little too full. And the dreaded spread eagle. I don't know anybody who likes the sleeve. And as you've heard me say here before, John just got the bird. So 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. Doesn't go very often, but John puts a good bid on it. Goes to the left 3. Trying to kick something over, but at least get 3. The standard way to do this is accept the 10 if you can get it. Take 3 and 3. Rarely do we see that go. I've only seen it done about a half dozen times over the years. And Ahearn trying to pick up the 10, and he's got an 8. 23 through 3. So the curse of the bird. I feel pretty happy if we get 3 and 3 on that one. Get the 10 box. So Ahearn coming into box 4, still markless for quite a while actually. He hasn't had a mark since the second box of game 1, and there's his lemon drop. More money for the Candlepins for Cancers if John's participating. Takes out just the 4-pin. Big target down there. And not bad. He's a little to the right and still has 3 pins up, the 1, 2, 10. And try to get out of here with a 9 or 10 if he can. Got to take that 1, 2. He gets it. Kicks the head pin over to the 10. Doesn't carry it, but that was a nice attempt. And John is at 32 through 4 with that 9 box in box 4. I see Glenn Gill has appeared in the lanes. Always like seeing Glenn. John Ahearn, box 5. Lets that one go to the right too far and picks off just a 6-10. Slowed his ball down a little. He's at 24 miles an hour now. He was at about 26 earlier. At least on that ball. And John wants to put that in a 1-2 pocket. Puts it over on the 3. And he's going to be markless for the first half of game 3. And still has 5 pins up there. The Caleria left. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Nice ball by John, and he gets a 9 box, everything but the head pin. 41.5 for Ahearn. With a 7, 8, 8, 9, 9. He's hoping the next few boxes are going to continue the upward trend. Because the next will be a 10 and then a mark. Matt Rich is here with his Kids for the Kids League. Matt Rich, a well-known bowler, good guy. And Al Blanchard coming up to do the first half of the middle game of this 5-game match. Both bowlers struggling, but fighting for every pin and working hard. Al Blanchard, first ball, just misses a head pin. He was putting that in 1-3, and he didn't miss by much. He took out 7. He's left with a 1, 2, 4. And this is a makeable spare. Got a line of 3. Too far to the left and doesn't get anything. Those are frustrating because you can see it. Any bowler, we all see that and know that we can make it. And then sometimes it just gets a little bit away from us. It's really aggravating, and it's so important to keep your head in the game for that third ball, because if you're disappointed you didn't get the mark, but you still want the pins. And that's the beauty of this game. Al does put up a nice shot that time and gets the 10. That's what he wanted to do in ball 2. Did in ball 3. At 10 to 10. And Al starts out with a 10 box and an early lead in game 3. 1 box in, it's 10 to 7. So Al did what you need to do. He's coming into box 2. Look at that hook on the 3-pin again with a Caleri left. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Just off the head pin again. He's hooking it right into the 1-3. Looks like a 10-pin ball, frankly. But just coming a little short of that head pin. And look at this. Nice ball. Put it in the 1-3, 1-2, just right. Got some action, and the 9-pin still survived the onslaught, which is always the risk of getting that Caleri leave. He got the 4 horsemen down nicely. And he's got wood in front of that 9-pin. It's quite a ways out. So you got to really just drive it back, but he misses it. It's irrelevant. A 19 through 2. 4-pin advantage right now for Al Blanchard in game 2. He's won game 1 and 2. Al came here from the Cape to put up a fight, whatever he can do. Ball box 3. Again on that 3-1 just to the left of the 3 and just missing the 1. See, a lot of you guys are sticking with us for this one. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's a fun match. Nail biters both times, and Blanchard looking at that Caleri again, the same as before. This time he tries to go to the right of the head pin, doesn't connect. It's almost the same as his first ball, honestly. But he's reading his break really well. He's very experienced. He's got many, many years in this game. And that's an 8 box. So Blanchard at 27 through 3. 4 pins up on John still. All right, we're coming into box 4 of the middle game of 5. Blanchard's first ball. He's correcting, trying to get to that head pin, and he's just to the left that time. So caught the 2 pin and took down 4 pins. Still has a 4 horseman plus a 5-9 on the right side. And he catches the 3 pin, punches out the 3-9, and still has a 1-5-6-10. It'd be tough to get a 10 here. I think he'd be happy with an 8 if he can catch the 2 right pins, or see if he goes for the head pin, tries to kick something over. He's going to the. He caught the 5 pin around, wrapped it around the head pin, so leaves a 1-6-10 for the leave, and that's a 7 box. Gave up a couple pins to John there. He's at 34 through 4 versus John's 32 at 4. Both bowlers still looking for a mark in this string. Al still trying to find that head pin. Maybe this time, and just off to the left that time. Breaks in front of the head pin. Comes in on the 2, takes out 3 pins. It's got a big cluster down there on the right, plus the 7 pin over on the left. Wants to get in that 1-3 pocket, I'm sure. That's where he's aiming at. And it breaks a little too much again. Al definitely sees the shots. He definitely knows what he's doing up there. He's just having a little trouble with that ball breaking a little more than he wants. So ball 3 trying to get out of this with a good... And he gets just 1 pin for a 4 box. That puts Ahearn in the lead through the halfway point of this match. And it's 41 to 38 in favor of John Ahearn. Going into the second half of this match, we're coming into box 6 of game 3, moving over to lane 22. Bowlers have a love-hate relationship with these 2 lanes. I know some bowlers hate it, but there's been big games thrown on this, including the house record of 227 by Pete Crawford a couple of years ago. I've had 150s and better on this lane, and that's way above my average. On the other hand, it's also known for a lot of bowlers complain about these lanes being split prone. So I don't know what the lane conditions do, because they all seem pretty similar lane to lane. But there are, we have our favorites. And I've had some struggles on this one. And John Ahearn starts off the 6 box on the 10 pin. That time he was on the 6. So he's got his 3rd ball coming up with 7 pins standing. Does not want to see another 3 box. So trying to clean this up for a 9 or 10 or something. And it'll be at 8. Leaves up the 1-3. So good outcome for John. 49 through 6. Needs to get that first ball working for him. He's been on the head pin a couple of times so far. Both times it was a split. But the majority of the time he's missed the head pin. John, box 7. That time he catches a head pin in the 1-3 pocket. Wanted to do that, but again a split. I think he's a little aggravated up there. He says he hits a head pin, he gets nothing. I think this is makeable. He's got the check mark left plus a 10 pin. The 2-4 pocket could carry something over. He's going there. A little too far. Catches a 4-7. Still has 3 pins up. The 2-5-10. You guys are intently concentrating because there's not too many comments coming in. John looking to get a 9 or 10 out of this. He can. He catches the 5-pin only and takes an 8. 57 through 7 for Ahearn. And John coming into box 8, still looking for a mark. The last mark he had was in box 2 of game 1. And we're in game 3 here. Ahearn on the 3-pin takes out the right side. He's left for the 4 horsemen plus the 5-8. So another missed head pin there. Little over adjustment, catches the 4. Still has the 1, 2, and the 5 down there. It's another open box for John. And to clean them up, and John cleans them up nicely. Takes out the 1, 2, 5 for a 10, 67 through 8. That's the first ball. He wants to throw that as his first ball. If he can do that, he's got a good chance for a spare leave or even a strike. He's got to get in that 1-2 pocket, and when he does, it's effective. Goes to the 1-3. Okay, not bad. Gets a head pin. It's a Brooklyn side for a lefty. And he's left with a little check mark down there, and that's a 2, 4, 5, 7. Wood to the right. I don't think it's going to help him one way or the other. And John is just off of the object. Not by much. He's trying to put it between the 2 and the 4. He caught the 4. So another open box for John coming into box 9. And to finish that box, 3 pins left. See if he can get a 10. And John will have to settle for a 7, and he says 74 through 9. Needs a mark to get to 90. John's had 89 and 75 so far, well below his average. I don't bowl well on mornings either, so when I was bowling, which I can't anymore. So Ahearn, a nice head pin hit. Really worried. That's the best first ball he's had in a little bit. And drops 80, leaves a 6-9 for a 2-pin leave. That's a makeable spare if he can put it in there. That's not a bad leave for a lefty. And he gets it. His second spare of this match comes right on time in the 10th box. Nicely done by John. That's what he can do. I've seen him put up 130 games and 140 games before. All right, Ahearn on the fill in the 10th box. He's on the head pin again, and look at that. That's a strike on spare. A 20 box for John. Can't complain about that. 94 in game 3. John with a nice recovery from really fighting his way through that string. Still under 100, but you know what? Not too bad. A 20 box at the end. That was big and clutch. All right, now what does Al have to do? Al's got a mark now. So Al is at 38 at the half. 50 gives him 88. He needs 56 to tie, 57 to win. So Al's got a mark. And he starts off on the 6-pin. Takes out that right-handed triangle. Al for the spare attempt in box 6. Second half, he's right in there where he wanted to be. That was a much better ball. And leaves the 4-7. So didn't get the spare, but really put a good effort on that one. He must spare. But he's got 4 more boxes to do it. And he'll take an 8 box. 46 through 6 for Blanchard. Ahearn's at 49 in the 6th box. And Al needs 48 pins in 4 boxes to tie, 49 to win. Good ball. A little too good. Get that 7-pin comes out. So Blanchard with a head pin hit and a spare leave with a 3-6-10 staying up. Wood behind him, that really can help. Can provide a guide that can carry the pins to the right. See if he can catch it, and he is on it, and spare in the 7th for Al Blanchard. Beautifully done. I didn't think that break was huge because I thought he's riding the rail halfway down, and then the ball just turns right into that 3-6 pocket, and he gets himself a spare. Now can he fill it? He's had a couple of 1-fills. And he does it again for another 1-fill, just like he did before in this 6th box of the last game, so he's going to have to mark again. 57 were knotted in the 7th box. Both bowlers are 57, and that spare strike that Ahearn put up in the 10th looms large now. Blanchard in the pocket for the spare bid, leaves the 2-8. That's where he wanted to go. Didn't go for him, but it was big. Now this is the same punch-out pins that you get if you throw a half Worcester left. And Al with an 8 box, so that'll put John ahead in the 8th box. Al with an 8 in the 8th for 65 through 8. John's got a 2-pin advantage in this string. Remember, we're only separated by 4 pins in total after the 2nd game. So if Al can't catch up with John, John could be ahead in total. Blanchard, box 9. That ball hooked a lot. It went into the 4-pin. Took out just 2. He's going to need another mark. Needs 29 pins in 2 boxes to tie. 30 to win. So if he doesn't get this, he's looking at strike territory. He's in there. That 5, the 10 goes, but the 5 doesn't. So Al put up a nice strong effort to get the spare in that one. Doesn't go for him. And he's going to be in a situation where he needs a strike here. That'll be a 9 box. And they're knotted up. 74-74 in the 9th. John put up a 20 box. Al needs a double strike to go to win. Strike spare or spare strike to tie. Must get a strike here. There he goes. He's on the ball. He's in the pocket. Puts it in the right spot, and it doesn't go. Unless it's backdoor. We got some backdoor action here. That's a nice head pin split for Al. That'll give John the 2 points, but he could still tie it up. No, he can't tie it up. That'll give John 2 points, without a doubt. Highest he can do. Let's see if he can get the spare first. He's put an effort on it. Gets everything but the 10 pin, and that will give the game to John. Al really put a strong effort on here to finish this one out. Danny Corbett, hello. So single pin to go. And he's got himself a 9. 83 string for Al Blanchard. And that gives Ahearn 2 points, 4 points to 2. And John Ahearn with the lead in total. And not by a lot. It's 258 to 251 in total. So Ahearn, as you can see on the scoreboard, has 7-pin advantage. We have flipped the total lead. And that's what you want to do, is try to, if your opponent gets ahead of you like that. So all 3 games coming down to that very last box. And Ahearn now starting game 4, the penultimate game of this match. And he's over on that 4-pin, takes out the 4-7-8 triangle. Makeable spare if he can get it in the 1-3 pocket. And Ahearn for the spare. He's in that pocket. I prefer to put it in the pocket on the big side, but he doesn't carry the 6-pin. But he got most of them down. So open box and a first for Ahearn. And looking for a 10 with a single pin, and he's just off of it, so a 9 box. Started with a couple 7s in his last 2 games, so that's a nice improvement. Clutch spare strike in the 10th to win game 3 by John Ahearn. And Ahearn, ball 1, box 2. Better than the last one. He was on the 4-pin. And that's a middle check mark. 1, 3, 2, 3, 6. Wood over to the right. That could help, but it could hurt, I think. He catches a cap of that, he might have trouble. So John's, yeah, he caught the cap. It didn't do him too bad, but he left the 4-pin up. So no spare in the second for Ahearn. And looking for a 10, another single pin leave in the third ball, and John will have himself another 9. Having trouble with single pins at the moment, but still at 18 through 2. Only left 2 pins up out of 20. So now John coming into box 3 of game 4. I'm out of coffee. First ball, Ahearn just off the head pin. Takes out 6, leaves a 4 horseman right, the 1, 3, 6, 10. Not the favorite side of lefties, but it can go. And then John a little too far to the right takes out everything but the head pin. So again, third ball, and he's looking at a single, which guarantees you a 9. I mean, that's not the worst outcome. But John has had trouble picking those up so far. Let's see if he can get it this time. That looks better, and John with a 10 box. Picks off the head pin, last pin to go, 28 through 3.
So it will fall down if you hit it. I don't know.
Missed the head pin till the third ball, but he got it that time for certain. 28 through 3. Needs a mark to get above par here. Ahearn starting box 4. That's a head pin hit. And that 4, 5, 7 is called the castle. Not by everybody. On this show it is. As that happens when you hit the ball nicely in the pocket. It's always with 2 pieces of wood, neither of which looks terribly helpful. So if he can make it, it'll be a great shot. And right through the hole. A lot of us do that too.
Looked all right.
So John trying to clean this mess up. Get at least a 9 out of here. Just keep it out of the channel, and he gets the 9. And maybe a 10? Nope, not quite. We had a short pin there, so 9 box, 37 through 4, and I see my friend Glenn Gill about ready to do some warm-ups. You have a match, Glenn?
Yeah.
Who are you bowling? Oh. Want me to cover you? It's all right. This will be your chance to come back. The comeback of Glenn Gill is what we might see over here. He said he's had a tough start so far. So potentially stay on, because we may be showing Glenn Gill versus Timmy Douglas, 2 top bowlers in the A division. 2 pins down for John, and a couple more. He's got 5 up. So Caleri on the right, and no mark for John in this first half of game 4. John looking for a 10, and we'll have to settle for a 7. So Ahearn sits down with 44 in the first half. You know, both bowlers have struggled on lane 21 so far. Only one half has been 50 or better, and that was Ahearn in the first. But that second half on 22 has gone better for them most of the time. At least for Al, anyway. The last one for John was a spectacular finish.
Probably on the other side.
So Al Blanchard with his white balls notices Glenn Gills setting up to warm up. Has white balls too. He's threatening to steal them. Blanchard just off the head pin hits the 3 pin and leaves up 4 horsemen plus 5, 8 plus 10. So a big bunch to shoot at down there. And we'll see what he does with it. See what he can do here. Just there, just broke past the head pin. Gets everything but the head pin. So nice attempt by Al here. We've seen some of those. Timmy Douglas is here in the house. And looking for a 10. And Al's all over that one for a 10 in the first. Early lead. Again, through 3. Al Blanchard has 4 points. John Ahearn with 2. John Ahearn with a 7-pin lead in total after the completion of 3 games. So low-scoring match, but a tight one. Al's found that 7-pin on the first ball a few times. And he's joking up there that at least it wasn't on a spare this time. And we see Glenn Gill warming up over on lane 19. Timmy Douglas is coming to the house. Al does not have a spare on that one. Still has 4 pins up. Hey, Timmy. All right, $7 for Al. 17 through 2. Box 3, 1-pin string and 2. And Blanchard over on that 7-pin again. That big hook sometimes helps him, but just as often hurts him. Notice in lane 20, Douglas is warming up, about to warm up, and we have the 2 and the 3 pins. One of them's off spot, or the 2 and the 4. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter. So Blanchard with 6 up. Douglas takes down everything but the 6 pin on that first warm-up ball. Pretty good ball for him. All right, Blanchard trying to clean up 5 pins here, and he will have himself a 5-box. 22 through 3, and he's down 6 pins in the first 3 boxes of game 4. So Al Blanchard having a conversation with Tim Douglas, one of the top bowlers in the ACST, who came down here for his match against Glenn Gill. Tim has been the champion of the A division before. Al Blanchard starting box 4 after a little chit chat with Tim, and that's better. He's on the 2 pin. That's better than being on the 7 pin. See a nice strike and warm-ups over there by Gill. Probably will not be covering them because they're going to start before I get done here. And Blanchard with 9 pins down for box 4. 1 more ball to go. Just the head pin standing. Gonna need a mark to catch up right now. Got 5-box hurt. And now with a 9. 31 through 4. That gives Ahearn a 6-pin advantage. 4 boxes into game 4. And Al Blanchard coming up to box 5 of game 4. In the pocket. That's where he's been wanting to be for a while. Nice ball. Still has the 258 there. Makeable spare. Wood over there behind the 8. That's actually going to help. If he buries that ball in the 2-5 pocket range, he's got a shot at this one. Can it break? Break over, and he misses to the right. So markless through 5 for both bowlers in game 4. Again, we are in a pitcher's duel here in this match. Al Blanchard at John Ahearn and Ryans and Millis. Their 9th week match of this, and that's an 8-box. And Blanchard puts up a 39.5 on lane 21. And that gives Ahearn, even with 44, a 5-pin advantage. And we are coming to the second half of game 4 here. Moving to lane 22, John Ahearn, our home bowler. Again, choosing to go first. Mike Nardone, good to see you here. All right, 44 to 39 at the half. Game 4. Ahearn leading in total after 3. Blanchard leading in points. Ahearn on the 3-pin leaves a 4 horseman. We're going to get a late faller. We do. Takes out the 4-7. Will it come back for a backdoor? Nope. Leaves a 1-2. Ahearn misses a spare opportunity there. Still has a 1-2 up. I don't have the big score sheets there. Yeah, but this is good for tracking. Yeah, that's what I track head pins and stuff on. Oh, you guys never miss a head pin, so. And a 10-box for John Ahearn, 54 through 6. All right, 7th box of game 4 coming up. Still looking for a mark from somebody. And John Ahearn goes over to the 6-pin, takes out just the 6-10. 8-pin still standing here for a spare attempt. And plucks off 1, so just picks 1 pin off of that mess. John still has 7 pins up to try to pick up a 10 here. Again, still looking for marks from these guys. All right, and Ahearn adjusts and ends up with a 4-box. 58. Those can be killer. Those 4s and 5s, and don't want to do that too often, but that opens a little bit of an opportunity for Al to come back here. And John now still in the 50s after 7. Box 8. That's a little better than the last one. He catches a 3-pin and leaves the 1-2 and 9. Still off the head pin, but that's a much more makeable spare. The trick is getting something to carry the 9, because if he puts it in the left pocket as he should as a lefty, catches the 9, that's it.
No outside drinks. Jimmy, no outside drinks. Hey, Al. How you doing?
Looking for a 10-box is John Ahearn, and he gets a 9. So 67 through 8. It's just like he had last time that he won.
Yeah, Bailey.
All right, we're coming into box 9 of game 4. Still a low-scoring game here for both bowlers. Ahearn, he went 10 boxes in the last one and put up a spare strike combination. This time he goes to the 3-pin and leaves up the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. 3 and 2. And through the hole, not what you want to do. Really need to be on that head pin, one side or the other. So now he's got 5 pins to shoot for a 10. And for the third ball, and through the hole again, another 5 box. 72 through 9. Needs a big box. Can he put up another 20 like he did in the last game? He's giving Al an opportunity to come back here. First ball in the 10th. In the pocket, nicely. He's in the right side though, and he's a left-handed bowler, so he's got a check mark on the left plus a 10 pin, so he's got to carry something over there if he wants to spare. Just misses the object, so that will leave John Ahearn open through 10. 3 pins still up to try to pick up a 10. Needs this to get over 80, to tell the truth. Needs a couple. And that's a 7 box, and John will have a 79 game. So that leaves the door open for Blanchard to have a comeback here because he's at 39 at the half. Needs 40 pins and 5 boxes to tie 41 to win this string. Daryl Goodwin, how are you? John's at 337 through 4. Well under his average. And Blanchard coming up to start his second half of game 4. In the pocket. Look at that ball. That was a great ball in a 1-3 pocket. Can't complain about that, but he can because he has a 4-10 split. But a lot of wood. Is there 1-2 pieces of wood down there? There's at least one. So my guess is he wants to go to the left side of the red stripe on that piece of wood. That's where he's going. And he goes to the right side more and picks off 1 pin. Doesn't get the 10 to carry. I think it was a little too full on that wood, but he wasn't off by much. And now he's got just 1 pin to go for a 10 box. And that's a 9. So Al Blanchard at 48 through 6. Inching closer to John Ahearn's string. He was at 54 through 6. This next box gives Al a good opportunity. John had a 4 box in the 7th and put him at 58 through 7. Al trying to catch a couple more points. And Al puts it a little too far over to the right with that hook. He's on the 2 pin. He leaves a 189.
That's the flux capacitor.
That's a good call of it. Glenn Gill calls it the flux capacitor. I like that.
That's a Drew Steele special.
Oh, well, I can't take it then. All right, a 1-9 left. Al picked off the left side of the so-called flux capacitor. 189 leave. It's pretty when it goes. It is makeable, but it's not easy. Al trying for a 10, and he gets a 9. Picks up some pins here. That 4 box really is going to haunt John. So it's now 58 to 57 in the 7th box of this game. If Al gets a spare in this one, he'll go ahead, and then that 5 box on the 9th really gives him a door that's open. All right, and Tim Douglas and Glenn Gill are underway over on lanes 19 and 20. Al Blanchard on the 3 pin.
There you go.
And Al puts down 4. Still has a 4 horseman plus a 9 plus the 7. So he can get a 10 box here. He'll be tied. Still has the 1-7. And Al with 2 pins left for a 10 box. If he gets a 10 box here, we'll have a tie string. And that'll be an 8 for Al. So John still has the advantage through the 8th box, 67 to 65. But John probably doesn't want me to remind you, but he put a 5 box up in the 9th. So Al needs 7 pins to get tied, 8 pins to go ahead in this one. We saw Al come from behind a couple of times here. Good ball, just missed a head pin. There goes the 2. There goes the 10, breaks up some of that split. And it's the 1-7, so he's got 8 down. And that puts Al actually ahead in this string, even before he throws another ball. The 1-7, he's got wood behind that 1 that can guide his ball. And it does, but a little too far over to the left, so he had the right idea, but didn't pick up the 7 for the spare. Really nicely done. That ball deflected just a little too much. I think if it was a little faster, it might not have deflected as much. I don't know. We can argue that one for the ages. And that's a 9 box. Blanchard in the lead, 74 to 72. Through the 9th box of game 4, both bowlers markless all the way through. Pure pitcher's duel. Al needs 5 pins to tie, 6 to win. First ball. Off on the 2, or the 3, punches out a half Worcester right, just the 3-9. Now he needs to pick up 3 more pins to win this string in 2 balls. Again, we're coming down to the last box, as we have in every game so far. Al going for that, and he picks up. Al wins the game. He's got 8 down so far. 9. Doesn't get to spare, so Blanchard will pick up the 4th game. With 1 more ball to go. Nail biters here for these guys. Blanchard with a 9, and that closes game 4, 83 to 79 in favor of Al Blanchard. Those 4 and 5 boxes really hurt John. And we have a 3-pin lead in total for John Ahearn. And I think it's fair to say it's 6 points to 2 for Blanchard. And I think it's fair to say the winner of Game 5 will likely win total.
Just letting you know, after this string, I'm going home.
I don't blame you, Al. Well, you're winning the match so far. Al Blanchard said after this string, he's 3 pins. After this string, he's going home. Fortunately, we are only scheduled for 5 strings. Ahearn starting our final game with another lemon drop, another $1 for the Candlepins for Cancer.
Oh boy.
And John with something to shoot at here. Timmy Douglas coming up on lane 20 for their match. Nice spare by Ahearn. He's been looking for one of those. He hasn't had one in a while. But that's a good one. We got a tight one over on game 1 in the A division here. Glenn Gill leads 53 to 52 at the half. Timmy Blanchard putting up a nice spare bid. All right, on the fill for Ahearn. Doesn't want to get his lemon drop again. Wants a big fill. And he'll have to settle for 2 because that's a half Worcester left. He just missed the head pin. Punch out this 2 and the 8. But that's 12 in the first box. Half Worcester can go. You can go on the inside or you can go in between the 1-3. He's going to the right and too far. Still has an open box in the box 2, leaving up the 1-4-7-10. All right, trying to clean this up, and he'll have to settle for a 7 box. So John Ahearn went back under par with 19 through 2. Those fills are really important. And we're coming into box 3 of game 5. Ahearn threatens to punch out there. He was on the 2-pin. But that time, he got 4 to go down. So, a bit of a mess down there. That was a half Worcester adjacent leave, and picks up just a couple of them. So 7 pins down, 3 up for Ahearn. The 4-7-9 are still, or 4-7-6 still standing. John's just going to try to take the 2, and he ends up with a 7. 26 through 3 for John Ahearn in the first half of Game 5. And we're coming in box 4 for John. Under par now. And by par, I mean 10 or better all the way through. Pins are wiggling, shaking in anticipation of being hit. And that's better ball by John on a head pin that time. Leaves a 3-4-6-7 split. Not an easy one. He's got to cut the 3 over to the 4-7. Wood could help if he can do that, but he's got to put it between the 3 and the 6. On the right, he's going too far to the right and gets nothing, so 4 pins still standing. And third ball in box 4 for John. Gets off the wall, not bad at all, and gets a 10. That would have been a spare. I think the conventional thinking, at least my thinking, was go to the right. But if he'd gone to the left, he might well have gotten a spare there. That was a nice shot by John. Not what he expected to happen. He was just going for the 2, I think. So 36 through 4 for Ahearn. He's waiting on Tim Douglas for that flux capacitor shot. And Douglas puts up a good effort on that one. Back to our match. John Ahearn. Box 5 on a 3-pin. Takes out 6. Leaves the 1-4-7-9. See if that wood can help him. He's got to hit the head pin anyway. Either drive it back to the 9 or get something to come off the wall. First step is hit the head pin, and he did not get the head pin, so John will be open in box 5, I'm sorry. And closing out the first half of the last game, Ahearn with an 8. And that's a 44 half, just like he had last time. So far, no big games here. 4 games in. But that happens sometimes. The points are the points. I mean, that's what we're fighting for, regardless of whether you win 75 to 73 or 175 to 173. Same points are awarded. Al Blanchard coming up, starting his last game here, and then he says he's going home after this game. And we're at box 1, game 5. Al Blanchard starting up, 2-step approach, puts it right in the pocket nicely, and is left with the castle left. 4-5-7. Again, as we usually see when that happens, you end up with 2 pieces of wood. I think the left one looks better than the right. But can he kick something over to take out that 5-pin? And he's going over there. Almost does it. Nice try by Al. Still has a 5-pin standing, so he's got an open box, but I think most of us are happy with a 10 if we get that leave. That leave is not fun. Waiting for Glenn Gill to throw his ball. In the A match going on next to us. And Al Blanchard with the attempt for a 10. And he gets it. Picks off that pin. And Al has started the last 3 games with 10 boxes. So Al down 2 pins. He's going to give courtesy to Glenn Gill to shoot the spare attempt. Glenn's got an interesting one down there, 4-7-9-10. Lots of wood. And he gets everything but the 7. Glenn puts up a good effort. Al Blanchard, box 2, game 5, and he's way over on that 7 pin again. Seen that a few times. Al will not need a spare to catch up with John, even though John had a spare in the first. A nice spare, too, because he had a lemon drop. Just took out 1 pin, made a 9-pin spare. Blanchard, right where he wanted to be. How does that 8-pin stay up? So he still has 3 up there. Guarantee he's going to just try to get the 6-10 down. Take a 9. Don't get fancy here. Keep it out of the gutter. That's the big challenge here. Keep it from hooking right or left. And Al gets it, and he gets all 3 of them. What a shot. What a shot by Blanchard for a 20. Not what anybody expected, but Blanchard has made some interesting shots here, and he takes the lead in this string, 20-19. So a really cool pro-looking shot there. All right, Blanchard coming into box 3. Now, when we think about the tail end of this game, John Ahearn, after 4 games, is ahead 337-334. So Blanchard can win this and still have total going to John, or John, if he wins this, will have total. So this is a big game for points. Right now it's 6-2 for Al. Blanchard with a spare in the third. 2-pin spare, nice shot. So scenarios that can work here is if John wins this game, he'll pick up 6 points total. He'll get 2 for the game, 4 for total, and then he'll have a 8-6 victory. If Al wins this game, well, he'll have 8 points for sure, but he's got to win by 4 or more to take total. So we could have a 8-6. We could have an 8-6 in 2 different ways. Blanchard with a nice fill that time compared to some of the ones he struggled with. That's a 6 fill, 36 through 3. Head pin hit and 4-5-7-9 fill. So nothing is for certain here. This match is still really up in the air. Blanchard's got wood over in front of the 4, pointed in a good direction, but narrow target there, and then he's got to get something to hit that 7, because if he hits the red line, I think he's got a shot at the right side. He's on that red line, and he gets the right side, but it doesn't take the left. We got pin coming back, and it does not take it. So nice try by Al. I don't think he had a lot to work with, unfortunately. It looked better than it was. So Al still has 2 pins up. He's actually ahead right now, or tied, with another box to go, and Al picks up 2 pins for a 10. 46 through 4, and Blanchard in the lead by 10 pins after 4 boxes. So that means John's going to have to fight back from behind. And Al's got another box to finish this half, and then we're going to come into our final half of this match after this box. Blanchard on the left takes out 3. That left-handed triangle leaving with the double line. And Blanchard for the spare in box 5. He's in that pocket, just out of it. Okay, so still has 3 pins, so 1-3-10. This ball hooked a little more than he wanted. He went over the 2. He really wanted to be in a 1-3 pocket. Still keeping his ball around 16-18 miles an hour. And that's a nice 9 by Al. And that's our best first half so far. He's at 55. And John Ahearn coming in. And at this point, Al's actually ahead in total through these first 5 boxes, 389 to 381. And John Ahearn down 11 pins and coming in the second half here. So, Faye Sawyer, nice to see you. So Ahearn starts out the last half of this match on the 3-pin. Leaves up 6 pins, takes out 4. Left with a 4 horseman left, plus the 5-8. Heading for the spare attempt. He's on the object. Little bit too full. Takes out just the 1-8. Unbelievable. John concentrating hard. He wants this game. He's got to make some shots here to make it happen. Needs a 10. And not bad. He got where he wanted to be on that one, but it's a 9-box. 53 through 6. So Al's still ahead at the 5th box. John really needed a couple good marks here. And a 6-pin hit, 3 down. He's going to take that double line on the other side. And John puts it in the pocket. Still has the 4, 5, 7 up there, so no spare for John in box 7. We're seeing the castle left up there as his 10 leave. I like the wood relative to what we usually see in that leave. And John will get another 9-box, so pinning well, but he needs to probably do a little better than that. 62 through 7, where the door is open for, and we're going to have a lane mouth. No, the pin actually, one head, yeah, the head pin dropped out of the machine. We thought that would probably require some maintenance work on that, but rack ended up being okay. So we're going ahead. John Ahearn starting box 8 with a half Worcester right, with just a 3-9 out. So needing some spares here with these last 3 boxes of the match. He's trying to spare that, and he's trying to play the inside of the 1-6. Nice try, but it went through the hole. Missed the head pin. So don't want a 2-box here. That'll just hand it to Al. Oh boy. Okay, so that's a 5. 67 through 8. Not a good time for that for Ahearn. We saw John finish game 3 with a spare strike combination. He sure could use something like that right now. Good ball in the pocket and a split. 3-4 split. Sounds better than it looks. All right, he needs a shot here. He's got wood to the right of the 3-pin. It's not really covering, but it might help guide the ball. We'll see. Too far. And he just knocks the wood out of the way, so the pins are still up. Open in box 9 for Ahearn. Match is not in the books yet, but I'd say Al's got a distinct advantage right now. And John with an 8-box, 75 through 9. We have not seen a 100 game in this match. Good time for John to have a big comeback finish like he did in game 3. First ball, just out of the pot, just off the head pin. Spare leave, the 1, 3, 6, 10, the 4 horseman right. John really needs to make this and fill it big to inoculate himself from what Al might be bringing. John's got it. Spare in the 10th. Bookend spares in this string for John. He got a spare in the 1st. Now he's got a spare in the 10th, and he wants to fill this. I don't think he can force Al to mark. Nice ball, and that's a 6 fill on the head pin. And John Ahearn with a 91 string in a 5th game to finish out with a 428 total. Not where the guys usually want to be total-wise by any means, but He's in the fight. Al Blanchard coming up to finish his match, and then he says he's going home. And he needs 38 pins to tie, 39 to win. That means no marks required. But can't afford a lot of bad boxes here either, so Al's got to keep from going over to the 7. He's giving it a little thought here. Giving Douglas some 2-lane courtesy. And going up for his in his start position where he's 2-step approach. First ball in box 6. Blanchard puts it on the head pin. And that's a spread eagle. 3-3 side. 4 box here. If he puts it on the head pin another 2 times, that could really hurt. So he wants a 3-3 anyway. Doesn't need a spare. So puts a lot of stress off of him. I've seen a lot of games where a bowler's got an advantage and comes back and... Well, that will lose a pin, so Blanchard put that in a channel. He still has 5 pins to shoot at. That pin is lost. It will not count. So if he gets a 5 box here, actually a 4 box, that helps the cause of John. We see a lot of these matches. You'd think it's in the bag, and it doesn't end up there, and that's a 4 box. 59 through 6. Now it's a 6-pin game. Still does not have to mark. Needs a mark for the first 100 of this match. Blanchard in box 7 is on the 3-pin, gets some good action there, leaves the 1, 2, 4, 8. Wood behind it, doesn't matter. Makeable spare. Doesn't want to throw away any more like that. We've seen some matches like the other day with Pete Riscatelli, who was bowling Justin Waters, and Justin's a tough one to beat. So he was really in the fight, but struggling. Al misses a spare, and Justin threw a game that really wasn't what he wanted, and it came down to the last box. Pete needed a spare to tie, 102 to 102, and needed 1 pin to win the game. And on the fill ball in the 10th, he let it get away from him, put it in the gutter, and that gave a tie, 102 to 102 in that game. And that was costly. So Al Blanchard with a 9 box, 68 through 7, still in the driver's seat on this one, but now John had that 5 box in box 8 that was not good for him. Al's got a head pin hit and a 3-1 split. 3, 6, 7, 10. Wood at an awkward angle behind the 3-pin. And he hooks it. Gets a spare. What a spare by Blanchard. That pin was threatening to go in the gutter, but it hooked left. That was beautiful. He read his hook right, got the spare. And that puts him at 78 plus a ball in box 8. And that also puts him in a pretty good spot to take total now. But let's see if he can fill it first. Blanchard on the fill. That first ball in the pocket. Now 8 pins wiggling. Doesn't go down. That's an 8 fill for Blanchard. He's at 86. He's won the string with that 8 pins after there. So he's going to take the string. And that's right at this moment. We are tied on total. The next pin gives Blanchard the total. Blanchard with spare after spare. And that will give it Blanchard the match. So Al has taken the lead in total with 1 more box to go. We're not going down the last box on this one. He's at 96 plus a ball. We should see our first 100 plus game in this match. And on the fill is Al, and just one. Done that a couple times, so that's 97 through 9. Definitely having trouble with that ball. Hooking a little too much a lot, but it doesn't matter now. Blanchard on the second ball and puts it in the pocket, leaves 4 pins up, puts him over 100. So we do get to see one game over 100 today. And the last ball of the match goes to Al Blanchard with 4 pins up, trying to get a 10 box. And that will be a 6 box. 103 for Al Blanchard. And he takes game 5, 103 to 91. And Al Blanchard wins total, 437 to 428. 4 points. And that's a 12-2 victory for Blanchard today. He really held on as both bowlers struggled through some really challenging games here. Both bowlers under their averages, but Al prevails and wins 12 points to 2. Game 1 went to Al, 92 to 89. Game 2 went to Al by 1 pin, 76 to 75. Game 3, John came back 94 to 83. Game 4, another close one, 83 to 79. Game 5, what you just saw, 103 to 91, 437 to 428 in total, and Al Blanchard with a 12-2 victory over John Ahearn. Thanks for joining us. We will see you on the lanes. This is Dan Castle at Ryan's and Millis in the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Store. Thank you.